Many people who contact me via Vinylum ask me this. I have some records. What's their worth? Value of vinyl records is an issue that concerns many people who own a lot of them and cannot determine their value. I have decided to make a video that refers to the 9 key factors that determine the value of a vinyl record. If you have some and you don't know their value, this is a video that you should watch, as it will help you determine it. Once you watch this video, you will realize why a first copy of Madonna's Like a Prayer costs $5, while the original God Save the Queen by Sex Pistols costs $10,000, although they are both pieces of paper and compressed plastic. I will also tell you how you can specify exactly the value of your records, who can help you, and which site you should use. It's a shame to have a treasure in your hands and give it away for pennies. My name is Yannis and I'm the founder of Vinylum.com. My passion for music, the culture and the history of vinyl records is huge, and I share it with you through Vinylum's YouTube channel. The value of the records is determined by supply and demand. When some people complain about the exact price of a used record, they can understand this simple rule, and the demand is determined by the following factors. The condition is the most crucial factor in determining the value of a vinyl. It's the first thing you need to know before taking any action. The better the condition, the greater the value. Even if a record has produced in millions of copies, its value is greater if it's like new, and if it's sealed, then even better. This is important for the value of records that you have in your possession. To define the condition, you can see the grading vinyls and CDs guide that we have in Vinylum and the Goldmine grading system that is used globally. It's simple and will help you understand how to determine the condition of your records. You will find the link in the description box below. Records made by well-known musicians or popular music genres are of great value because they are in high demand. Records by well-known musicians who were released in the 60s and 70s and are in excellent condition are hard to find, even if they had produced millions of copies. People back then listened to music only from records and treated them without care. But in the 80s, when people started caring more for their records, the rock and pop music releases that sold millions could even be found in dollar bins. On the other hand, most records of the 90s have increased in value. In the 90s the decline began, and records were produced in limited copies. In music genres that have been popular for many years, such as metal, the records that were released in the 80s and are in excellent condition have kept their value, and some of these releases are worth hundreds of dollars. Limited editions have increased demand and prices. Also, a vinyl record by an unknown band that had released a good album and then disappeared may be of great value. The 60s and the 70s in the field of psychedelic rock and garage rock are full of this kind of rare records. However, records of well-known bands and artists who publish limited editions of some of their work are also in demand. In recent decades, a company like EMI, for example, press Beatles records not only in the UK, but in vinyl factories around the world. Records that were pressed in foreign countries are of great interest to record collectors. If these records have been made in limited copies, then the value of this vinyl is significantly increased. An example is the Greek version of Rubber Soul by the Beatles, which had a different cover from the rest of the world, the history of which can be read in the Encyclopedia for Rare Vinyl Records. You will find the link in the description box below. For collectors who want to have all the possible versions of their favorite album, foreign editions are the object of their desire, and often they have to pay a high price to get it. The Japanese versions, also known for their high build quality and excellent sound, are sought after and are quite expensive. Autographed records have their devoted fans. An autograph on a record is the presence of the artist on his creation. The artist, who has pressed thousands or millions of copies, puts his signature on a copy, and this is valuable for many collectors. If it's a band, the signature of all the members increase the value of the album. Also, a signature with personal dedication, for example to Yannis, I wish you the best, is worth more than a simple signature. The vinyl records that have been removed immediately after the release are vinyl records that are sold by thousands of collectors around the world. A typical example is God Save the Queen by Sex Pistols, and to be more precise here, the God Save the Queen 7 hits we threw before it was even released. The story can be read in the Vinylum Encyclopedia. You will find the link in the description box below. Although it's very difficult to find this kind of records or to have something like this in your possession, in case you have it, you may be keeping a small fortune. Promotional records were copies that were usually pressed before the release of a record and shared on radio stations when playing music for vinyl until the early 90s. Sometimes they had a different cover from the regular release. The actual promotional copies had white labels that read promo only, not for sale, or demonstration copy. Private, self-funded releases and records from small independent companies are in high demand, especially when the album has a musical value. In the metal genre of the 80s and rock of the 70s and 60s, one will find hundreds of such important releases. There are also examples where a band released an LP from a small record label, and after a while the album was released again by a big company. One such example is Too Fast for Love, Motley Crue's first album, which sells for $2,500, and you can read its story in Vinylom's encyclopedia. Test pressings are a small number of records that were pressed before the mass production of the vinyl record, which was printed to mainly control the sound effect. Usually these records have white labels without information on them. They were usually printed in 5 or 10 copies. After I told you the 9 key factors that determine the value of a vinyl record, you will learn how to value your collection properly. The best way by far to find out how much your records cost, if you can't or don't have time to deal with the task, is to find a collector who will determine the cost of your records for a fee, each one separately. I guarantee you that if the collection is valuable, it will save you a great deal of revenue. When the collector examines them, he will tell you exactly how much money cost and what's the best way to sell them. And something very, 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 very important. Keep in mind that not all records will have the same demand. For example, Born in the USA original copy in perfect condition may be worth $15, but no one wants it. While Bathory's Yellow Coat costs $2,000 and many want it. The expert must tell you this so that you know what to expect. The other way is to find out the prices yourself by searching the internet. PopPsych is a great resource for finding out how records you've been interested in have sold in the past. You can also see the status of the album in terms of its price to know what its value is at the moment. If you can't find some information in PopPsych, in the marketplaces like Discogs of course, Amazon, eBay or Vinylom, you can find how much they are selling so you can understand their value. There are millions of records on the Vinylom marketplace and you can get an idea of the prices. But beware, sales prices are not always representative of value. This is because some sellers want to sell their records at the highest possible price, and this results in high prices with items remaining unsold for a long time. Also, at the Vinylom Encyclopedia, we have indicative prices and sale price history for many collectible records that you should take a look at. In the description box, you will find all the links we have talked about in this video. And now the question for this video is this: what's for you the most important of the 9 factors that determine the value of a vinyl record? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. It is very important for us. Each of these actions will help us to become bigger and create useful and interesting content more easily and more often. Enjoy music, enjoy life, enjoy vinyl, alone or with good company. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.